Before Boko Haram, there was Maitatsine, a man who hated modern life so much. He built his own world right inside Kano. His followers didn't just pray, they fought, they killed, they died for this man. And the riots that followed, they shook this whole country. Let's get into the story. Maitatsine wasn't even Nigerian. His real name was Mohammed Marwa, and he was born sometime in the 1920s in Marwa, northern Cameroon. But Nigeria, that's where he decided to build his legacy of chaos. He came into Kano around 1945, already preaching a strange version of Islam that most people couldn't even understand. He didn't just challenge the status quo, he straight up cursed it. In fact, the nickname Maitatsine literally means the one who damns in Hausa, and he wore that name proudly, like a badge. Now, this man didn't believe in the hadith. The hadith is, they are the sayings and the actions of Prophet Muhammad that many Muslims use to understand and practice Islam. He didn't rate the fiqh either. That's like Islamic law based on scholars' interpretations of the Quran and the hadith. Maitatsine rejected all of it. He didn't even believe Prophet Muhammad was a true prophet. No jokes. Maitatsine claimed that he was the real prophet above all other prophets. And he didn't stop there. He taught that things like radios, watches, bicycles, television, cigarettes, even Western style clothes were evil, haram. His followers were not allowed to use any of these things that I've just listed. He said modern life was corrupt and sinful, and that Muslims needed to return to a pure, stripped down faith as like bare minimum, according to his own rules, of course. But here's what made him really dangerous. This man was charismatic. He didn't just preach to a few people in a corner. He built a movement. He attracted hundreds, then thousands of poor, frustrated young men. Most of them were Almajiri, street boys, and school dropouts. They had nothing. And Maitatsine gave them something to believe in, a purpose, a place to belong, and someone to follow, which is what they needed. They called themselves the Maitatsine. They weren't just a religious group. They were a militia, they were armed, they were fierce, absolutely loyal, ready to do anything. They even believed that Maitatsine could perform miracles. Some even thought that his charms could turn bullets into water. They built a stronghold in Kano, in an area called Yan Awaki. From there, they ran their own society. No government, no police, no outsiders allowed. It was their world now. And then in December of 1980, everything exploded. On December 18th, the Maitatsine, they launched a full-blown uprising in Kano. They attacked police stations. They clashed with other Muslims. They declared war on anybody who was not following Maitatsine. The army was called in, and what followed was 11 straight days of chaos. The streets were turned into battlegrounds, homes were burnt, bodies were piling up. Listen, by the end of it, over 4,000 people were dead. 4,000. These people included civilians, police officers, soldiers, and Maitatsine himself. Some say he was shot, others say he had a heart attack. Either way, he died during the fighting. Then his body was cremated by the army so that nobody could turn his grave into a shrine. But guess what? That was not the end. His top man, Musa Makaniki, he picked up the mantle. The sect went quiet for a while, then they came back hard in 1982, this time in Maiduguri, Borno State. They tried to attack the central mosque in a place called Bulunkutu, but the police fought back. The violence spread fast. Over 3,000 people died in that round alone. At the same time, in Kaduna, another sect cell launched riots. They killed an assistant police commissioner. They clashed with security forces. At least 23 more people died there. Then 2 years later, in 1984, they resurfaced again in Yola, in what was then Gongola State. This one was brutal. Street battles, homes torched again, entire families wiped out, 1,000 people killed. Half the city was displaced. Nigeria's military ruler at the time, General Muhammadu Buhari, had to personally fly in to handle it. And just when everyone thought it was over, they came back again in 1985, this time in Gombe. More fighting, more deaths. By then, the movement had lost its steam though. Makaniki fled to Cameroon. That was the last major uprising, but the impact is still felt today. You see, Maitatsine's movement was the blueprint. He showed how one radical preacher with just the right amount of anger, charisma, and disillusioned followers could shake an entire country. His teachings, his tactics, and his rejection of anything Western, it laid the groundwork for what would eventually become Boko Haram. Even Boko Haram's name means Western education is forbidden. And just like Maitatsine, they attract the poor, the frustrated, the ones left behind. It's the same pattern. We've seen this before. Because what Maitatsine started, it was more than just riots. It was a movement, a warning, a prophecy of the chaos to come. Look where we are today. If you enjoyed this video, please follow me and look in my bio for all my social media. Follow me there as well. Thank you so much.